Alright, so here we are removing the suspension off the 53 Chevy S10. I already got one side off. Got one more side to go. And the way you remove the A-arms, the suspension, you take this bolt here off and these two here, and then there's another one in between that you got to unscrew. You got to pull that one out, and this whole thing drops. You got to disconnect the brake line first. So you got to disconnect it from here first, and then disconnect it from the back of the drum before you drop the suspension. Once you take off this bolt here, these two here, then you pull out the shaft that's right here, that's holding these two bolts. There's a shaft here. You remove that shaft. Once you remove that shaft, this drum will drop. And once that drops, you take off these two bolts here, and then you'll be able to remove the upper A-arm. And then you have to go to this bottom screws here. Got to remove this one here. It's a big long bolt, like a shaft, and it comes all the way out. And that's how you disconnect it from here. Once you do that, you got to remove this bolt and the one in the back, and that's how you remove the lower A-arm. I'll continue posting videos as I go. I don't have a stand to hold my phone, so I'm trying to improve my video quality, so bear with me. Alright, so I'm going to show you guys how to remove the fuel line, the brake line from a 1953 Chevy front suspension. I had to use vice grips because the bolt was already a little bit stripped, and the wrench is not grasping to it. But it should be number 10. This one should be a number 10. This is a 5/8. So this is how you remove the fuel line. And it's also missing the lock washer. So it's missing a lock washer. It's supposed to have a lock washer here. Once it goes through this plate, you're supposed to put the lock washer in the back to keep it from moving around, keep it in place. But the lock washer is missing. Now you want to come to the back of the drum, which is this part here, and that's how you remove the rest of the fuel line. And once you loosen it up, all you do is just turn it. And there's the brake line. Sorry, I know I've been calling it a fuel line. It's actually a brake line hose. So that's how you remove the brake line. And next thing, I'm going to be removing the A-arms and the lower A-arms. So I'm going to show you guys how to remove that. Alright, so when removing this bolt here, you gotta raise up the whole A-arm with the floor jack to make it easier to get to this bolt here. And this bolt should be 9/16. you got to remove this top bolt, and you're going to need a wrench to hold the bottom. So you hold the bottom of the bolt so it doesn't turn, and then you wrench off the top bolt. The next thing is to remove these two caps here. Once you take this bolt out, you got to remove these two caps, which are they're grease caps. This is where you put your grease to greasing up your suspension. You want to remove the first cap. So this is the cap. That's what holds your grease. This is your grease bleeder. So you got to remove the back cap now. And this one you loosen this way, this one you gotta loosen the opposite way. So this is your back cap. It doesn't have a grease plug on it. And then here's the pin that holds those two caps together. So you remove that, and this is how you drop the drum. And this is how the same technique, same process to remove the spring or put the spring in. But somebody already had removed the springs here. So the spring was already off. And then same procedure here. You have a grease cap here. You have a grease cap on the back. So you remove those two caps. And that's how you'll remove the top air. So now we got to remove the back cap over here. There's another cap over here, which is on this side. Alright, so I'm going to continue removing the air. Now we're moving the opposite side, which is the other side of the grease cap. So you can see that this cap was dry. It had no grease. You can see it right here, all the rust, and it's missing the grease cap. So I have to find a grease cap for this cap, and that's how you remove the top air. And then you will follow the same procedures as the top. You got to remove this cap here. There's another cap here on the other side. And then you got to remove this one, which is more of a long bolt. Once you remove this, then you'll be able to drop the drum and then remove your whole lower A-arm. But that's where we're at, removing the suspension, so we can have a better paint on the frame. When I paint the frame, I'll have more room, more space. I'll be able to do a better quality painting the frame, and then I'll be painting all the A-arms, lower A-arms, the springs, and putting everything back together, assemble it back together, and I'll do a video on that.